What's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Audrey, and today we're going to be playing with the NYX Cosmetics Love Contours All Palette. So I was actually originally planning on filming something else today, but I did this makeup with this palette earlier today, and I actually really liked how it came out, so I thought that I would just take this off and we could recreate this together. So if you want to see how this really quick, soft, grungy look is created, then keep on watching. Okay, so I'm cleansed and moisturized, and the first thing I'm going to do is my brows. So I'm going to take an angled brush like this, and I'm going to go into the deeper shade of these two brow shades right here. So first, actually, I'm going to comb out my eyebrows so that I can kind of see what got going on. And then I don't normally use brow powder, but this palette has it all. So anyway, taking that shade, we're gonna start in the, well, you can kind of see the light coming through my blinds. I'm gonna take this into the middle of my brows and start tracing out with this dark shade where I want them to go. They give you two shades because the darker shade is for the tail and middle of your brow, and the lighter shade is for the front. Brush that up into my more sparse areas. Now I'm going to go into the lighter shade that's right next to it, this taupe shade, and take that along the front and drag that up. Now what I like to do personally is take a brow gel, which I use a Tarte brown mascara for this, and just set that into place. Alright, and if I was doing my brows with brow powder, that's how I would do it. Okay, I'm going to pause this real quick and do the other side. Alright, brows are on, and now I'm going to take my Colourpop No Filter Foundation, and this is in the shade Medium 80. Pump some of that onto the back of my hand, take my damp beauty blender, and start patting that on. This is actually one of the only foundations that I've ever used that I actually thought was a little too yellow for me, but we're gonna make it work. Normally I'm like, you know, my undertone is very, very, very yellow, and so normally if I pick the most yellow foundation out there, that's gonna be like perfect for me, but I think that my oliviness finally met its match. And by met its match, I mean it doesn't match. One thing I've noticed about this foundation is sometimes it does apply better with a brush. So I'm just going to take a flat kabuki brush and apply it to the spots where I'm going to need more coverage, which is mainly just my cheeks. Now I'm going to take some of their No Filter Concealer. This is light 16. Just give myself a little dot of that under my eyes, a touch on the nose, a touch on the cupid's bow, touch on the chin. Buff that out with my damp beauty blender. Alright, this isn't my favorite foundation, but I was thinking that I should change it up and use more than one foundation on this channel. Okay, so now that that is laid down, just going to, now what this palette does not have is a setting powder, and since this concealer does like to crease under my eyes, I'm going to grab my Maybelline setting powder. I'm going to take some out on my beauty blender and just dust it onto my under eye concealer. What I discovered about this palette this morning is just how very, very pigmented these contour shades are. So carefully, I'm going to take this lighter contour shade right here on my flat contour brush and just lightly brush that onto my cheeks. And don't worry, it's going to look scary, but we are going to blend it out down the nose. You know the drill, the places where I like to contour. Now I'm going to take a big fluffy brush and buff that out. I want a little bit more of an intense look, so I'm going to go into the darker shade on this side, this one right here, and just add a little bit of that into the edge of the contour. And then same thing, buff that out. This foundation is already coming up on my nose a little bit, which is one of the things I don't like about it. I feel like it does kind of separate in some places. It still looks pretty good though, and the coverage is good for what it is. This palette does not have blushes in it, so I'm going to take a fluffy brush and go on into this new Smashbox blush palette I got. And I just think these blush shades are beautiful. They are pretty bright, so if you're not a blush person, then I might advise you to stay away from this palette. But I'm going to take this shade. I think this is the one called Rich Coral, and I think this is True Coral, and this is Highlight Coral. So I'm going to take Rich Coral. Yeah. And with not heavy pressure at all, swipe that on my cheeks and then blend. I just think that blends out so pretty. I do kind of have to take my time blending this more because it is like a really dark blush shade for somebody of my skin tone. So definitely be easier to wear by someone with a darker skin tone. So if you're like medium to maybe to tan, or if you're more deep and you like a really subtle blush, then these might be good for you. Now before I highlight, I'm gonna move on to my eyes. So real quick, where did I put my concealer? Here it is. Real quick, gonna take some of that Colourpop concealer and apply it to my eyes with some primer. I actually didn't do this morning. I applied it straight onto my lids and it held up better than I thought it would. It wasn't perfect. You know, it had like a little bit of like creasing in my crease, but it was a lot less than I expected considering I laid down eyeshadow on nothing because my eyeshadow likes to slide around. I'm gonna take one of those Anastasia double-sided brushes, gonna take the flat side. Oh, you know what, no. Hold on, I'm gonna lay down this light shimmery shade first. I'm just gonna lay that down all over. Brown neutrals are normally really boring for me, but I think this is gonna be my new travel palette because I used to carry, okay, here, 2 contour shades, my Hoola and Hoola Light, as well as a whole eyeshadow palette, and I didn't ever carry highlighter. But this, I'll be able to have an eyeshadow palette. If I ever wanted brow powder, there would be 2 contour shades and 2 highlighter shades. I don't know, I kind of like that all-inclusive, like, don't have to think about it kind of thing. Alright, now I'm going to take this really pretty bronzy dark brown shimmer shade. I'm going to take out my finger first. Take out my finger to get some pigment down, and then just whatever my finger didn't get, go through. Bring it up in my crease. Now we're going to go into the first contour shade we use on the fluffy end of this brush and just start buffing out the edge of that. Also going to take some of that darker side of the contour on the fluffy brush and put that into the edge. Now I'm going to take my flat side of my brush again, go into that light contour shade, and just smoke out that lower lash line some. Also going to take my fluffy end again, take our light shade with some of the shimmer that we use, bring that along our brow bone, kind of diffuse some of those edges. As a final touch, we're going to take this gold highlight shade on the flat side of the brush and put it on our inner corner. Y'all, I'm getting sick again. I can tell I'm going to end up, I guess, filming some kind of other sick video. Get ready. I got the body aches right now. Like, no. I just got over this. Come on, give me a break, right? So that's completed. I'm gonna throw on some mascara real quick. Some thick and fluffy mascara to go with this grungy eye. This isn't completely a full face one palette since we used another blush, or another palette for blush. But like almost, right? Alright, there we go. So that's it for our eyes. Now I'm going to highlight, do our lips, and then we're going to be done. I'm going to grab this dense highlight brush and take this beautiful gold shade that we used on our inner corner and just take that onto the high points of my cheeks. And I'm going to go in with this highlighter because right now my skin's still looking a lot better. I'm going to enjoy this. Y'all, that's actually really pretty. It's kind of chunky. It is a little chunky. If you like a really smooth highlight, this is not going to be for you. Take it up the nose. I'm going to take some of this frosty highlight and I'm just going to add a little bit of that to the tip of the nose. the most. Today we're going to be using Kylie Cosmetics Dolce. Just taking a thin layer of that, press together. And because I'm a gloss girl, I'm going to top that with just a hint of Like Gloss by Kylie. Okay, and y'all, that is it for this look. And just in time too, because my camera's getting low on battery because I forgot to charge it. So, I always get lipstick on my teeth when I film these. I feel like that usually doesn't happen to me like when I'm not filming, like it only happens when filming because I'm cursed, I guess. Anyway, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this quick and easy, grungy, kind of glam look. Best paired with a choker and a mustard colored sweater, of course, because those are grunge things to do. Anyway, so yeah, that's it. Please don't forget to like, comment on this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram, etc. But yeah, thank you again, and goodbye.